Hi guys, I'm just doing a video today. I'm trying out some new software on my computer. I did a live video yesterday and it was terrible. It kept cutting out and it just was very, very disruptive. Um, so I'm still trying to figure out live, like how to get a better connection during live. So if you have any suggestions on how to do that, right now I'm trying out Ecamm Live so that I can upload to a couple of platforms at the same time. I wanted to do just a little recap of the live video for those of you that couldn't get to the end of it because it was terrible quality and just kept cutting out. It was super annoying. A really good message came out at the end and it's stuck in my mind, and I just felt like I had to share it for those that, like I said, weren't with me during the live video. One of the things that came up was the Three of Earth, or the Three of Pentacles. And in that particular moment, the messages that I got were really powerful and really strong. And the message was essentially that right now, during this lockdown or quarantine, social distancing time period, to distract ourselves from the reality outside of us that's occurring, it would be beneficial for all of us, especially light workers, especially those of us that are connected to our manifestation power, to really put our attention and focus on things that we love to do and spend time doing them, to the point where you lose track of time. And I don't mean like quarantine, Twilight Zone, lose track of time. I mean, you're doing something you really enjoy, you're in the right side of the brain, you lose track of time, you're spreading joy because you're just immersed in what you're doing, and you're happy and you're content with what you're doing. And to take it a little step further, to help to create the new world moving forward, the new norm moving forward, to really think what we want right now and what would bring us the most joy, what would the world look like, rather than what most of us are doing. And I'm as guilty as anyone else of this, falling into the trap of, oh my gosh, is this going to be like this? Is it going to be like this forever? What if this happens from now on? What if, just all those questions, because there's so much uncertainty right now. I will tell you that at this time, my colleague Emma Boardman and I are going to be doing a monthly astrology kind of like a workshop each month, or a meetup seminar, and we're going to be looking and focusing on the transiting planets, to help explain how they are interacting with your particular birth chart, and just in general on a global scale, what's happening there. And that's going to start April 26th, and it is a month. You can either subscribe to a monthly membership of $8, which is pretty affordable, or you can just drop in and check it out for $10 or $10 or $15. I can't remember. But I really think it will give us all insight onto these Sinoic cycles, the planetary cycles that are occurring. We're going to look at the history of these cycles and what happened during those cycles and what could happen now. And definitely 100% we're going to be looking at the more positive interpretation of that, because there are currently right now a lot of people spreading fear, and I will not participate in that ever. I really try to look for the highest potential, but we definitely all have to get on board with that to help move everyone in that direction. And that's why I'm doing this video today, just because I want to remind you that even though during this time it feels very much like we don't have any control and we don't have any power in what happens in our world anymore. You know, a lot of us we don't have our jobs anymore. We are being told what to do, how to do it, how long to go to the grocery store, not to go to the grocery store, don't drive your car, don't do this, homeschool your kids. It's just orders after orders, which is really hard for a lot of us who felt free up until this point. And we know that it's all for our own good, but it's still a difficult pill to swallow for a lot of us. So it does tend to have a feeling of restriction. And so I just want to remind us all that there is still power. We still have power right now, and it's very, very important for us to be using our power properly. Whether we know we have power or not, we will help create our life. So it's better to actually be in charge of that, be ahead of it, rather than just be a bystander waiting for anything to happen. So I'm going to pull another card for today, April 8th, just to see what the guides would like to come through and say. We'll just surround us all with love and light in all directions of time and space. We'll ask Archangel Michael to vacuum out any fear from our hearts, our third eye, our ear chakras, and our throat chakras, root chakras. All of our chakras. Will ask Archangel Michael to clear them out. Clear out the card deck, and we'll just ask for the guidance from the higher beings, from the higher realms, directly from the divine, for everyone that tunes in now and into the future. Ooh. So this is the Two of Wands, which tells me there is a choice we have to make, which is kind of what I'm trying to say here right now. And also it's about just to continue to move forward, we do have to make a choice, okay? Like this card literally says, you're coming into your own, new partnerships or contracts, continue to move forward. Generally, I look at this card as a networking card, and I know that networking is really constricted right now. But actually, I've heard from a lot of people that networking online is really doing well for their social life. Like they talk to more people now than they ever have before. They're more involved in communities online. So for those of us that aren't really savvy online, that might be present a challenge. But moving into this age of Aquarius, it is important to get outside your comfort zone and to, you know, yes, you might be alone, you might be in isolation, but there are lots and lots and lots of communities online right now that have formed during this time. So I would take advantage of that. And this card is telling me that that's something that you'll find more like-minded communities. It'll almost be easier to sift through and find exactly the types of people you want to be around rather than kind of trial and error out in the real world, because groups are labeled with the sort of theme or the interests. So that kind of makes it a lot easier in a way. The other message this Two of Fire has is just like, if you've had ideas coming through, because I know a lot of us have been getting a lot of downloads or information and ideas and inspiration, but then we're kind of falling back into that pattern, like, oh, we need this to do that. Oh, we need these materials to carry out that that sort of download. But what the guides are telling you to do is really, really become more and more resourceful right now. Like, if you don't have all of the pieces to that project you want to complete, just start it anyways. Go ahead and move forward and start it anyways. And I'm going to be really careful here, because some people are just not in the mentality to start a project at all. And that's totally fine. For me personally, I have to be doing a project. I'm a very creative person. I'm an artist. If I'm not doing something with my hands, I really can easily fall into depression and get quite anxious. So for me, it's a mental health thing to always be creating something. I have to be, it doesn't have to be big. It just anything like knitting. I was knitting the beginning of this pandemic. just to keep the anxiety from sticking in my body. It was a way, an outlet, a creative outlet. I need a creative outlet. And I didn't know that about myself when I was younger. I knew I was an artist, but I didn't know how much I need to be creating. And if I'm being honest with you, I think everyone is an artist. And I think that those of us that recognize it and use it as a way to manage our mental health are better for it. And for whoever might have tuned in right now, if you don't believe yourself to be an artist, just put that aside right now and just do something with your hands to get this stress out, this collective stress out. The other card I have is the Dreamer card, or in traditional tarot, the Fool card. And it is a sign of unexpected opportunities coming. It's a sign, you know, to follow your dreams. So some of us have been put off work, and maybe that's a good thing, not financially, but maybe it's a good thing because you didn't like that job. That job took up so much of your life force. Use this time. We don't know how much time this is going to go on, but it isn't going to go on forever. It is not going to go on forever. So use this time that you have, instead of worrying, reading news headlines, freaking out about the unknown. Use this time to your advantage and do something you've actually wanted to do, maybe haven't had a chance to do in a long, long ass time. And who knows where that could lead you to. And that's why I think these connections here could lead you to something totally different. You know, a lot of us are just waiting for things to go back to normal. But what if that normal you weren't happy with in the first place? What if this is an opportunity to make some new connections online that could land you in a position in a more like-minded type of employment? There's no one telling you have to go back to that same job if that job wasn't suitable for you, in the sense that it didn't bring you joy. You didn't feel inspired when you woke up to go to it. Yes, it paid your bills, but it wasn't really making you happy. In fact, it was making you miserable. So maybe, just maybe, this is an opportunity as well, that you are now off work, you can't go back to work, and hopefully you qualify for some of these relief programs. So financially, I saw people today posting that, you know, they were getting the money in their bank accounts, which is awesome. I'm really happy for those that could qualify. And I think they're modifying the program for those of us, myself included, that didn't qualify. So that's really good. Like, I'm really happy that our government is trying to help everyone right now. And so, like, for me personally, I loved my work. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to go back to that when everything's said and done. But now I have more time to do all of the things I wanted to do for so long, like clean my closet out. I know that that's not glamorous, but there was one closet in my house that just was driving me nuts in the back of my head all the time. And I finally got that sorted out, which is a big relief. And, you know, so just putting your attention and focus on things that you haven't been able to do because you've been super busy. And particularly the messages today, do get some networking sorted out today. Go online, find a group, just put in the search engine something you're interested in learning about, or you'd like to meet people that have or that share the same interests. Like, I joined a gardening group the other day, and I'm starting a garden, which is something I've wanted to do for so long. And I've learned about vertical gardening, which is great. It doesn't use up as much space if you have like a smaller backyard. So there's just ways that we can manage this crisis. One of the ways I don't recommend managing it is just focusing on all the negatives and focusing on how many people are going out and driving around and policing our neighbors and doing this. That isn't going to bring you joy right now. It's going to stress you out even more. There's always going to be people that don't follow the rules. Do the best that you can. And we are going to come through this, guys. So I just wanted to tell you that. I'll probably tune in again in the next couple days. And if you have any suggestions about how to use live where it's not going to cut out every 3 seconds, that will be great. And I hope to see you in my astrology workshop. You can find it on my page, Angel Psychic Readings. And the event is called What the Fuck is Going On Astrologically Right Now, or At the Moment, or something like that. So that's going to be monthly, the last Sunday of every month. And you do need a code to, once you pay your membership or your drop-in fee, you'll be given a code to come into the meeting with Emma and myself. So I hope you're having a good day and take care.